Well, howdy ho there, neighbor. Welcome to Vampire Church. Hello, my name is Jared Logan, and I am your storyteller this morning here on the Stream of Blood, where we play tabletop role-playing games on Twitch for your amusement and/or horror, shock. I'm having a little sip of Vitae to get my morning started here. By the way, be sure to listen to That's Messed Up, an SVU podcast, starring my wife and her friend Lisa. If you like SVU, or if you like horror, and I know if you're watching this stream you do, you should check out their podcast, because SVU is the best horror show on TV. All right, enough plugging my wife's projects. We are here to play Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition by Paradox Interactive and Modiphius, and this was written by Kenneth Haidt, Martin Erickson, Matthew Dawkins, Kareem Muammar, Johanna Peterson. Mark Rain Hagen did some of the writing. That's the guy that came up with the vampire game all the way back in the 90s. This is an incredible update of the original Vampire the Masquerade game that came back when I was a young stripling of only 12. And it was truly one of the first games I ever played in terms of tabletop role-playing games. I didn't have a lot of Dungeons and Dragons friends, but I had a lot of gothy vampire friends. And I was never gothy myself. I was too afraid to dress in all black and put on white face paint. But luckily, I had cooler friends who adopted the look and lived the lifestyle at the age of 12, 13, 14. And so I've always been enamored with this world, and it has been one of my great gaming victories in my life that I've gotten to play such a long and exciting chronicle of Vampire with some of the best players I could ever possibly hope for here on the Stream of Blood. I'm going to bring in those players in just a second, but before I do that, I just want to remind you that if you love what we do here on the Stream of Blood, and why wouldn't you? The stuff we do is fucking awesome. You should subscribe on Twitch. Subscriptions through Twitch are the only way that we currently fund our little project here. And the more people that subscribe, the more shows that we can bring you, the different types of talent and extra projects and extra little bonuses we can bring you. For example, our subscribers get access to things like our faction turn for our Blades in the Dark game, where instead of watching players just play the game, they get to participate by controlling from a bird's eye view the different gangs in the city. So that's just one of the things we've done with our subscribers. Another thing is recently our subscribers created a Philadelphia setting for our vampire game, which I think we're going to be seeing very soon, depending on what happens today, because our players here in Vampires of Pittsburgh Lockdown, they're in a tight spot. They have been for the last 5 sessions, but it feels like it's all coming to a terrifying and jaw-dropping close. And at least one of our poor players is currently in torpor. His character is in torpor. Let's bring in that player first. This man is a incredible improviser. An incredible creator of RPG characters, and an incredible artist. You should check out his stuff on his Instagram as Curtis Krieger, the embattled vet and gangrel vampire. Please welcome Ross Bryant, everybody.
Hello, Jared.
Hey, pal.
What an intro, man! Just great stuff as always. You were bringing up your sort of like goth credentials earlier on, and how about you were maybe a little too tentative to dip your toe into the dark waters.
I was.
In point of cred, I just want to show the stream this photograph of a 15-year-old Ross Bryant wearing a black suit with one of those priest collars with the little black button. So
hell yeah!
Just in case anyone had any doubts as to my sad boy bona fides.
There's a little crossover there. On one hand, I'm getting goth, I'm getting Hammer horror vibes, I'm getting Creature of Darkness. On the other hand, I'm getting the Quaker Oats guy's son.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's definitely more the vibe I was giving off. There was no. yeah. It was the vibe of like, he'll grow into or out of whatever this is.
We should talk more about this. I did it. I don't have a photo, but I did at one point. Like I had a haircut that was a butt cut down the middle, but I wanted it to hang to the sides.
Oh yeah.
I should find if there are any photos of that, because Whew, that was I was a creature of the night with that haircut, at least. Let's bring in our next player and see if she has any goth bona fides. I bet she does. She is a fantastic actor that you may have heard on Horizon Zero Dawn, The Last of Us, or you may have seen her on Apple TV Plus's Mythic Quest. And she plays Jen Brown, the thin blood vampire CEO of a tech company whose calling card is total failure. And yet she keeps playing with a good attitude. Many other players would have smashed everything on the table and walked away at this point, but she just keeps going, and we love her for it. Please welcome the amazing Ashley Burch.
Hello.
Hello. How's it going?
Good. This is the most goth I've ever been, I have to say. This game is my goth bona fide.
I mean, yeah. I would say anybody that's played 50 plus sessions of Vampire is definitely grandfathered into ultimate goth, I'd say.
I think I've gotten more gothy since the last session too. I feel like what I did last time was pretty goth.
Mm-hmm.
It was extra goth, and I can't wait to find out what happens. And we were talking before the stream, and viewers, I think we're going to jump straight to that because we've got to find out what happens with that. I'm no longer worrying about pace and what scene should go first. I'm just like, I want to find out. So we will do that. But first, we must introduce the third player in our triumvirate of blood-sucking greatness. He is a swell actor who you can see on HBO Max's Raised by Wolves. You can hear his voice in a number of different video games. He has his own video game company. Ask him about it online. And he plays Lucius Ali, the Dr. Ventru with a vision. And that vision involves eating a lot of other vampires. Please welcome Abubakar Salim.
Oh, okay.
Oh!
Oh! The panda, the most gothic of bears.
Absolutely. I was literally trying to think, God, am I really gothic? Black, white face paint. Oh, panda. But so good.
Pandas are kind of goth. They've got the eyeliner. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. They have trouble mating. There you go.
They have trouble mating. Wow, is a goth great?
Wow, bro.
That's me.
Stay in torpor, man.
I don't mean to burn the goss when I'm already so burned myself.
No, it's quite all right. Man, when you that's and Ross, you really yes and.
That's more referring to the boy you saw in that old photograph.
It was a self burn. It was an attempt at a self burn.
That was a self burn.
They do have trouble mating because of all the angst, and then they have to write songs about it, and you know, and the Cure. I mean, the Cure. I think a good review of them would be they have trouble mating. You know. Okay. I have a little head cold today because my 2-year-old gave it to me, but I'm here. I'm risen from the dead. Are we ready to do this?
Let's do it.
Then let me bring up my slightly overwritten intro.
I've waited the whole week for this.
Yes.
Here we go. Yeah, Abu was saying he's been having trouble focusing on his lines because he's thinking about what's happening in the vampire game. So if you're watching Raised by Wolves Season 2 and suddenly Abu is like, you hear a little bit of Lucius, that's why, everybody. Okay, here we go. Wait, where is here we go. Okay. My slightly overwritten intro. It's loading. Here we go. Okay. Vampires are real. They infest our cities, feed on our children, control our institutions. Among the vampires who call themselves the Kindred, there is one most important rule. Stay hidden. Don't reveal our existence to the humans. Maintain the masquerade. A year ago, 3 vampires in Pittsburgh broke that rule. Now an inquisition controls the city, hunting the hunters, putting their havens to the torch. Your friends are dead. The city is burning, literally. There's nowhere left to run. This is lockdown. And by very short way of recap, the final confrontation between our coterie and the Camarilla vampires led by Miss Sonia, who were making their haven in Washington's Landing, a small subdivision, housing division that's out on the Allegheny River, on a small island on the Allegheny River. There was a final confrontation. People were captured. People escaped. Jen Brown called in the Inquisition, and the Inquisition kind of came in guns blazing in like huge Humvees with a lot of weaponry and started putting houses to the torch. They didn't care if there were humans or vampires inside. They started burning them. And among the things that they burnt were Curtis Krieger. Curtis Krieger, the only person left uncaptured a couple sessions ago, went to Marius Sakura, the mysterious vampire who had offered an alliance earlier that the Coterie rejected. Marius brought in a new faction, a group of witches from Gravity Hill calling themselves the Reclaimers. So Curtis brought them in as backup, and the witches were able to kind of use their strange curses and blessings to kind of shift fate for Curtis in his attempt to infiltrate and save his friends on Washington's Landing. But unfortunately, their magic does not appear to have been enough because surrounded by Inquisition deltas with flamethrowers, poor Curtis Krieger was fried to a crisp and currently sits in torpor in the middle of Main Street in River Run Properties, Washington's Landing. Meanwhile, Abu's character, Lucius Ali, confronted his sire, the Archon Isabel. He had at one point a kind of one-on-one telepathic battle with her using Dominate, where he got a messy critical, and she was trying to put a suggestion inside of his head, and he put one inside of her head, that if anybody was attacking Jen Brown, Isabel would stop them. And so, just as the Archon was about to slay Lucius, because he had just committed diablerie on Erasmus. Oh my God, this is spiraling out of control. Isabel ran back and fought Miss Sonia, who was punishing, and that's the way I think Miss Sonia would put it, Jen Brown, basically about to slay her as well. Here's how it all fell out. Okay, at the end of the battle between Isabel and Sonia, Sonia lay in torpor inside a crushed house. Isabel tried to capture Jen Brown, but because someone was attacking Jen Brown, she had to stop her, so stopped herself with a knife to the head. Lucius escaped the house, escaped Isabel, Sonia, and all of them, and went to find Curtis. But before that, he led all of the Camarilla vampires and all the kindred left on Washington's Landing in a final push against the Inquisition. And the Inquisition appears to have kind of pulled back a little bit. And it's maybe due to Lucius's efforts. But right now, Lucius is off trying to find Curtis somewhere here in Washington's Landing. But there is another concern, a bigger concern, which is that after Isabel was out of the picture, Jen Brown crawled on her hands and knees, taking yet another point of damage through the wreckage of the house to find Miss Sonia. And when she did, she decided to diablerize her.
Oh, so beautiful. Oh, so beautiful.
Who texted me after last week's session was just like, yeah.
Yes. So this entire, I think, Lockdown Chronicle, which I didn't know it would be about this, but it's been this sort of tug of war between Jen Brown and Lucius, with kind of Curtis in the middle about whether or not, you know, this kind of way to power, this path to power is a good one. And I think that Jen is finally seeing that without power, well, I don't want to put words in Jen's mouth. Let's just find out what Jen does. Jen Brown, you are currently like you're basically underneath like a cross beam that fell. There's like plaster and broken glass all around you. You've been cut up by it, but you're looking at Sonia's inert form. And Sonia, once again, looks like a corpse, like, because when vampires go into torpor, they immediately become corpse-like. They don't look like someone sleeping. And so you're looking at what looks like a dead Miss Sonia. Her bulk is sort of laying at an awkward angle. Her eyes remain open and bloodshot and kind of yellow, and her mouth hangs open, and you can see the tips of her fangs. And you're face to face with her, and her neck, of which there is plenty, sits there, kind of laying before you. And what do you do?
So, I think Jen is so injured and so hungry, and she's been now with Sonia for a couple of days, and the hatred for her is so intense. I think especially because she was like, I'll have Sabrina kill herself on your parents' couch. It's like dusting her is not enough.
Mm-hmm.
Like the anger in Jen is so much that she's like remembering Lucius's particular brand of feeding, and she's like, fuck it. And she goes in to eat her.
It makes sense to me. It makes total sense. And so what I will have you do is roll your humanity plus blood potency. As a thin blood vampire, you have 0 blood potency.
Okay.
So you will be just rolling your humanity score, which is what currently?
8.
Okay, so before we do that, I'm so sorry. I got my things out of order. So that is going to be the ultimate roll that you make. But right now you need to win a strength plus resolve test. Difficulty 3. You need to win a number of equal. So you need to win a number of strength plus resolve tests that are at difficulty 3, and you can make one such roll per turn. Okay, so this is the process. So, and I don't have to roll anything. This is just you. You're just kind of like trying to absorb her as you feed. So, I'm gonna say, Sonia's blood potency is a 3. So you need to win 3 strength plus resolve rolls at difficulty 3.
And am I factoring my hunger into this?
Let's see. Well, since you're feeding on a vampire, I'm not going to make you factor your hunger into it. Okay. Although, I mean, your hunger shouldn't matter too much. Like, if you get a success on a hunger die, like that's still a success. But don't worry about it. You're feeding, so hunger isn't an issue right now.
Okay, so strength plus resolve.
And you need to get 3 successes 3 times.
I got 2 successes.
Okay. Do you have any willpower left?
Would I have gotten any willpower back?
Yeah, I think that this act of anger and vengeance gives you a point of willpower.
Okay. Okay, I got 4 successes now.
Yes, okay, that's a good one.
Yes.
Come on,
that's the first one.
Keep it up.
That's the first one. But you have to do that 2 more times. Can you do it 2 more times?
Got this.
That's a great question.
Okay.
2 successes.
Okay. Do you have any other resources to spend?
Will it? Come on.
I only have 1 willpower left.
I'm going to give you your resolve and willpower because we're at the beginning of a new session. So instead of just 1 willpower, I give you your resolve and willpower. How much does that give you?
2. So I just
used 1. So you used 1, so you have 1 more.
So I'll spend that other 1.
Okay.
Oh my god. Okay, 3 successes.
Okay.
All right.
You just have to do it one more time. You just have to do it one more time. And I want to tell you that as you're doing this, like Sonia's bulk is kind of like shrinking and she's shriveling like into like a skeleton right before your eyes. Like all of that flesh is kind of falling off, but not in like a squelchy way. It's kind of like she's mummifying as you like feed on her, and your hunger goes to 0, Jen Brown, as you like kind of like, and you've never felt this much power like flowing through you, but you can tell that there's you're not quite there. There's just one more moment and you'll have her spark. Oh, and you want it. You're so hungry for it. And
come on,
final roll. Here we go. Strength plus resolve, 3 successes.
1 success.
Oh,
no! Come on.
What happens if I spend my last willpower?
You'll have a -2 to everything, but you will be able to re-roll those dice.
Do it.
Okay.
Do it.
I've never seen you look so serious in my life. Okay, here's the re-roll. 2 successes.
No! Okay.
Jen, what is up with you, man?
I don't know!
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
So, total failure, Jen Brown lives up to her name. But...
Let's see how
That's okay. So listen, here's what happened. You started to drain her all, and you could feel her spark, and you almost had it, but I don't know what stopped you. I don't know why you didn't get it. Maybe, we don't have to, you can tell me why it didn't quite happen, but instead the spark of the vampire of Sonia sort of floats off into the night. It doesn't quite, you don't quite consume it. And so you have not committed full diablerie. You've merely fed on a vampire to the point of destroying this vampire. There is
dusted now.
Let's see. The victim's animating spark dies unconsumed, thwarting true diablerie. In either case, the body of the victim swiftly decays in final death. And so, as you're watching, like I said, the mummification suddenly becomes sort of a quick decomposing, and Sonia completely turns into dust before your very eyes. And I think, regardless of whether you succeeded or not, you must take another stain.
Okay.
You took a stain. You took a stain last time, right? I think I told you to.
I have 2 stains, so that's a 3rd stain, and now it's overlapping with my humanity.
Oh, then I guess we have to figure out what's going to happen with that, don't we? Let me come back to you. Clinton Trucks, would you bring up the humanity and stain rules? But we're going to leave Jen Brown right now. But I want to know how Jen Brown reacts to this. She doesn't feel empowered. She feels that the spark of Sonia's soul drifted away from her. What's she thinking? Why does she think it happened? Or how is she emotionally reacting?
I'm guessing, okay, so I feel like probably narratively what happened is that she's just too fucking human. So she went in to finish the job, and she's remembering all the stuff that she read in the Golconda book. She's thinking of what her path was before coming here. And there's just a flicker of doubt that stops her. And I think she's pissed. I think she's like, she was ready. She committed to do that thing. And now she feels like this path that she's taken prevented her from really, that was revenge, her doing that to Sonia. And she feels like she didn't really fully commit her revenge that she wanted to commit. So she's angry.
It's disappointing, but maybe now she has a taste for it. And all kinds of things can happen. We'll see how it all falls out with her humanity. But right now, I want to go to Lucius Ali. Lucius, you're moving through Washington's Landing. You're looking for Curtis Krieger. I want to set the scene a little bit. What you're looking at are burning, like suburban, prefab houses. You're looking at literally like people on the street, like kind of like running and screaming, citizens of this community. But at the same time, the Inquisition doesn't appear to be doing, it's kind of odd because you think of National Guard people as like helping people kind of get to safety. The Inquisition isn't bothering with that. They all look like National Guardsmen, but occasionally you see one pop up and take some shots at like a guy in like his pajamas, like running across the street. Like, it is complete anarchy. It looks like the military has turned against the populace of Pittsburgh. Pieces of the street and shrubs and houses are burning. How would you like to go about looking for Curtis? And where would you like to go? You let me know.
Well, I think the way that I'm going to do it is because I am, again, and I feel like I can feel the humanity seeping from me, right? So I think as I'm looking for Curtis, I'm looking around. I see, I'm going to see like someone who's panicking or stray running, and I'm going to try and almost like nab them off the street to kind of, I'm going to muscle them with me because I'm seeing this as food for wherever Curtis is or whatever might need be. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm sure that people are pretty hungry.
Yeah.
See what I mean?
Yes, absolutely. That makes sense. And there are plenty of sort of targets, right? And it's chaos.
It's anarchy, yeah.
Yeah. Are you using a like a dominate kind of strategy, or are you
it's more like it's like I'd say it's like a domination through almost like using the chaos of it all, but using that slight bit of awe as well. I'm like, come with me, follow me, and like I'm almost grabbing them by the head as well, like aggressively, like look, because it is chaos. I'm trying to get you, move you, using the momentum of it all to kind of bring them with me.
Great. Let's see how you do. If you want this to be, do you want to just use your all, or do you want to make a rouse check and use your dominate? Awe doesn't cost you a rouse check.
I think I'm just gonna. No, I'm gonna because I've got like nearly. I've got 0 hunger, or 1 hunger, or like, but yeah. So I'm gonna do that. So let's,
okay.
Let's
great.
rouse
So rouse your rouse the blood, and then
cool.
Give me a manipulation plus dominate roll. And in this case, since you're dealing with mortals who are like they don't know where to go and they don't know what's happening. First of all, I'm going to see how many mortals are sort of readily available. Okay. And now I want you to make a dominate plus manipulation check.
Okay.
And
so I've succeeded on the rouse.
Okay, great.
The manipulation plus dominate, which is 4, I think. Oh, what is my potency? Hold on. No, 3, so 5. So I got 3 successes.
Very good. 3 successes is enough that I believe that like you find this like family that's like a teenager and a dad in a bathrobe and like a mother who's like also in like her kind of like pajamas, and you're like, follow me, and they just immediately start following you like out of like the burning like shadow of their house down the road. And I want you to make a wits plus awareness roll as the 3 of you are moving through Washington's Landing.
Okay. 4 successes.
Okay. You notice, because you're just keeping an eye out for mortals and Inquisition and everything, you notice that there are 3 children dressed in kind of odd, old-fashioned kind of garb, like from the early 1900s. And they, one of them has a phone up, and they're just filming everything. And they're kind of giggling.
Okay.
You can ignore this and keep looking for Curtis, or you could interact with this.
Are they weird kids?
They're weird kids, and I can't remember whether Lucius saw them before. I know Jen Brown saw them briefly one time, and I know that Curtis has had interaction with them, but I don't know that Lucius has.
Okay, I'm not gonna. I've got a mission. I'm not gonna involve myself with these brats. I'm
okay, no problem.
Like running on my way to going to find Curtis, and I got
all right. So I want to see what your investigation, or it doesn't have to be investigation. What is your strategy for finding Curtis? And if it is a success, then you don't have to deal with the Inquisition. But if you spend too much time looking around, eventually the Inquisition is going to find you.
Sure.
And your little group of 4 here. So
yeah, I think it would be a mixture of composure. Because again, there is madness kind of around me. But if I was, I guess no, I'd say investigation plus intelligence, maybe.
I'll allow that. That makes total sense. You're thinking about where he would have come in, where he would have met the most resistance. So give me an intelligence plus investigation roll, and the difficulty on it is going to be 3 because things are so crazy. You're trying to avoid patrols. You've got these people behind you, etc.
4 successes.
Nice.
You come to a place where you manage to avoid the Inquisition patrols, and you come to a place that's kind of near where like the gazebo is and the bandstand, and then there's like that main street going by it, and you can see that there is just this like kind of this Jeep with a big Browning machine gun on the back that appears to have been abandoned. And there's something weird about what's going on here, which is that you are certain there was some sort of altercation here, which is why you think that Curtis is here. But for some reason, like, you don't see him. The people that you see, like, every time you look at them, you're kind of like, no, that's not him. There are like that you can see like 5 people like kind of gathered around this thing. There's just something strange about them. They look like mortals, but like they don't seem to be worth your notice.
So they're looking at this Jeep.
Yeah. And you can tell that some kind of battle happened with the Jeep. Like there are a lot of dead Inquisition around it.
And are there people around this Jeep as well?
There are 5 mortals around the Jeep who are kind of like, they look like they're looking into it, or they're like taking stuff out of it.
Okay, I think I am going to jump onto the Jeep using my soaring. Screw that. I'm gonna go up to the Jeep slowly and sort of kind of go in and join them. But with the people that are following me, this family that are following me, I'm gonna kind of be like, just tell them to like, just keep watch, stay watch. So yeah, so I'm just gonna go towards this Jeep slowly.
Okay, great. I want you to give me, and let me see what would make sense here. I want you to give me some kind of perception roll, but the perception I want you to use isn't normal, like noticing things. I want you to tell me how you would notice that something occult or strange is going on.
Probably would be like, I'd say maybe like an awareness, plus, politics, but like at a difficulty of something silly. You know what I mean? Like
I hear you.
Maybe just awareness, or maybe just awareness.
I think awareness plus composure works for me, but I am going to make the difficulty a little bit silly. I'm going to make the difficulty 3.
Okay.
Oh, I just realized what's happening. That took me a while.
I got 1 success.
Do you have any willpower?
Yes. Okay. I have a real bad feeling about this, guys. Okay, I'm gonna do willpower. Okay, I got 2.
Okay, so you talk to them all for a second, and then you find yourself standing back near the family, and you're kind of like, that wasn't important. They didn't have anything to say. They're not important.
Who's not important?
Those 5 mortals standing over there, and when you kind of look directly at them, you see like a man, but you also see a woman. And then you see like another woman and a man. And you're like, they didn't know anything. Curtis isn't there.
Can I see that they're, what do I feel? Do I feel like
something's wrong? Something's definitely wrong. Something's wrong.
Fuck it. I'm just gonna go for him.
You're gonna go for them?
I'm literally just gonna leap onto that tank and be like, what? And like kind of almost monstrously look at them like, what the fuck is happening?
Okay, I like that. Soaring, leap onto the Jeep, and then would you like to kind of use a power, or are you just kind of like baring your fangs, or tell me how your intimidation is working?
I think it's a kind of intimidation, like sort of dominate this, like, you know, kind of be like, tell them to, you know, almost like stand, like, you know, back off, like literally just back the fuck off from here.
Okay, great. Go ahead and give me an intimidation roll, but you can for a soaring leap and all that stuff, I'll let you add a die. So give me like a charisma plus intimidation.
Okay. 3 successes.
Hey, there we go. So, Lucius, you land on the Jeep and you're kind of furious and you're like, what's going on? And suddenly the man and the woman and all of these nondescript people, it's almost like you've pulled a sheet off of them. And you see that you're looking at like now very specific people. You're looking at like an old crone, and you're looking at like a young 21-year-old girl with some tats. They're all in like kind of like their pajamas or in jogging suits. There's like a plump, motherly woman kind of standing there looking up at you. And there are, in addition to those people, there are like a couple other women kind of standing back a little bit. And in the front seat of the Jeep, you see the charred body that could only be... There we go. Nice role play, Ross Bryant. The charred body that could only be Curtis Krieger, because you can see just a little bit of his like old jacket kind of like hasn't been completely charred. You know, a bit of the hair matches the hair that's still hanging onto the skull. He looks like he's been completely destroyed by flames.
Well, I'm literally then just gonna grab and fuck off, like grab and run back to Jen's position. So,
you are, huh? You start to grab him, and they go, "Wait, we will be paid."
And I'm like, "What?
Magic has a price."
What do you? What?
Who are you? They all start chanting. Meanwhile, Jen Brown, you were having an emotional moment. You're furious. You're filled with rage.
I had
You
a
need
question,
to roll.
actually.
Yes, please do.
How gnarly would it be if I did succeed at a cost for that last roll?
It wouldn't be gnarly. It would be fair. Succeed at a cost is allowed, and I don't want the play. I want the player to get the result that they want within reason. But I am gonna. Are you asking how gnarly would the cost be?
Yeah, I'm wondering, have we moved on past it, or can we retcon a little bit for me to have actually succeeded on that last roll that I did?
We haven't moved on past it. We can retcon it. I want you to get the result that's going to make you enjoy the game more. And here's what I think though. I'm going to make the cost gnarly. I'm going to make the cost gnarly.
Yes.
Oh God.
Oh boy.
Jen, you can't play with this stuff. You know, it takes more than it gives.
What do you think? Are you willing to take my devil's bargain and accept a very gnarly cost for this?
Yeah.
Oh God.
So, you believe,
no, yes.
maybe that rage is what kind of, the embers that have died of her soul. Maybe your rage is what reignites them inside of you. And suddenly, you feel like the blood, the vitae inside you kind of flare up with like this tremendous warmth. And you're like, wait, maybe there's still a moment. Maybe this can still happen. Maybe I wasn't defeated here. And now we are going to do the thing that happens when you diablerize someone, which is we're going to automatically take away a point of humanity.
Okay.
And then we are going to roll the new humanity versus Sonia's sort of mental power. And if she succeeds and with more successes than you,
then I start role-playing as Sonia.
Well,
oh yeah.
I've been reading a lot of Dune lately, and I think we could definitely create some sort of thing where her memories control you. Yes. Basically, it's not like you suddenly become Sonia, although that is one way to interpret it, if that's what you'd like. But it would mean that you become a gestalt being between Sonia and yourself. That is correct. Are you ready to try this?
So I roll my humanity.
You roll your humanity, what's left of it, and she will roll her mental fortitude, her will, basically.
God, I can tell you have so many dice. That's fine.
If Sonia is good at something, it's this. If Sonia's good at something, it is this. It's like she was a planner, a manipulator, and basically a spider. She knew she built a web. So I'm actually rolling her resolve plus blood potency.
Okay. Here we go.
Okay.
Say a little prayer for me.
How'd you do?
I got a critical success.
Oh yes. See,
that
you make a devil's bargain and everything turns around. No consequences.
So with a critical success, each of your 10s equals 2 successes. How many successes did you get altogether?
8.
8 successes. Wow, she got 4.
Yes.
So you have 4 times 5 is the difference. 4 is the difference between the two of you, and then 4 times 5 is how much XP you get to spend on disciplines and blood potency. You have to at least buy another dot of blood potency and go up a dot of blood potency, I think, in order to become. But listen, I said that would be a gnarly cost, and that what I just did to you is not the gnarly cost. That's just the rules as written.
That's just rules.
The gnarly cost for retconning is that Nosferatu always have something about their appearance that is sort of wretched and vile and like sort of makes people fear them. I think for you, Jen Brown, it's going to be doubly so.
Oh no!
So as you are deciding how to spend that diablerie XP, you see your body changing, and because it is your character, I would like for you to think about it and you to tell us what kind of monstrous appearance she sort of adopts.
Okay. The first thing that I thought of, because it's sort of thematic as well, is that she has a bit of a two-face thing going on, which is that like at a diagonal on her face, one part of her face is monstrous Nosferatu, and one part of her face is still Jen. So when you look at her, if you were like looking at her on one side, you would think she's a human, and then she would turn and it would be like,
yeah.
Okay, that's fucked up. Done. So just make sure you understand, like, blush of life is, by the way, if you once you spend on that blood potency 1, you're no longer thin blood.
We just got new emotes.
Yeah. But we just got new emotes. So you're no longer thin blood. It means that you'll have to blush of life to fit in among mortals, but you never will, because you are now transforming into this sort of, I mean, at best, people will go, that's a horribly disfigured person.
Right.
Okay.
This is going to be later, but I'm going to make Jen like a fucking Baru Cormorant Phantom of the Opera, like half mask thing that she wears now.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So
remember when we were talking about goth bona fides earlier? Yes.
Yes.
The queen.
Yes. That makes you the queen when you have a Phantom of the Opera mask. So Jen's literally, you're looking at one of your hands and it's completely the way it always has been, and the other one is like a gnarled claw now, and you feel one side of your face kind of like, like twist and kind of become brittle, and you just feel half of your body like you become like kind of a two-faced kind of monster. Wow,
she has a limp now too.
Yeah,
like her Nosferatu side, she has to like drag a little bit. She still has a fucking massive sword from the Archon too. So I think now that Jen has transformed, she's going to limp toward where everything's happening, dragging this fucking sword behind her on the ground.
Okay, and I think as she's limping and dragging the big knife, I think that first of all, you are at Hunger Zero, so and you let's go ahead and spend this XP.
Oh, great!
Right? Let's go ahead and spend this XP. So
I have to give myself some potence. Is that right?
You need some blood potency, to go up to like becoming a Nosferatu. That's the new level times 10. So of this 20 XP, you could currently put 2 blood potency. You could put all 20 into blood potency and go to blood potency 2, or you could just put 1 into blood potency and have 10 XP left to spend on other things.
I have some XP banked as well, I think.
And I'll allow you to throw that in as well if you'd like.
So what is Sonia? What did I eat from Sonia?
You ate, what did you eat? Well, Sonia is a Nosferatu, so her clan disciplines are animalism, obfuscate, and potence. So she, you can become super strong, you can get, animalism, and then of course obfuscate, the ability to kind of like become hidden, invisible, change your appearance, things like that.
That seems like it'd probably be good, given my current state.
That's probably a good idea.
Okay. I think I'd want to spend. I don't know how much XP I have left over. I was trying to find it. Where is it on my sheet?
That's okay. I'm not quite sure either. Why don't we assume
12 or 15? Does that sound right?
Yeah, because you really didn't spend last time.
I was
like,
trying
I'm just going to save it
to get the flying ability.
That's right.
Here it is. 18. I have
18. Holy shit! Man. So this diablerie has just turned you into like not only a monster but a powerful monster. So altogether, you have 38 XP to spend.
Oh my God.
20 of it can only go toward things that Sonia had.
Right. Okay.
So let me know. What are you thinking? Blood potency 1 or 2? That would cost 20 XP.
Blood potency 1.
Oh no! Forgive me. Blood potency 2 would cost you 30 because it's new level times 10. So blood potency 1 for 10 XP, and then leave you with 28. Okay.
And
so
then
let's bring Jen Brown up to I'm sorry, I'm gonna also do this on your sheet so we don't forget. Blood potency goes up to 1.
And then I want I think I want to get some obfuscate.
Great, that makes sense. Obfuscate. So that is going to be a clan discipline for you now. New level times 5. So in order to get like 2 levels of it, 1 level would be 5 XP. You have 18 left, right? Yeah.
No,
you have 28. You have 28. So level 1 would be 5. Level 2 would be 10. So that's 15 altogether. And with Sonia, you could go up to level 3. But level 3 would be an additional 15. So it would cost you 30. You don't quite have that much.
Maybe I'll do 2 in obfuscate, which then leaves me how much left?
That would leave you, if you do 2 in obfuscate, that's 15. So that, and you had 28.
13.
So 13 left.
13 left. Okay. And that means I still don't have enough to fly. I don't think.
Save it.
I'll save it.
Well, in fact, you're going to lose some of your thin blood formulas now because you are no longer thin blood.
Yeah.
Oh, do I lose all of them?
Alchemy.
You know what I'll let you do is I'll let you redistribute those dots because it's not fair to just say I'm getting rid of all of your dots. So those dots will have to go somewhere else because only thin bloods can do thin blood alchemy.
Oh, that's so sad. That's okay.
Oh. Well, we can talk about it. Maybe there's there's no authority on how magic powers work. So if someone was like, if you're like, maybe my magic power still works because of this and this, I'm like, yeah, that sounds right. But but I think that
so maybe there's a bit of Jen still in there that is thin.
She's half thin blood.
She's half thin blood.
So let's see, 2 obfuscate, and then
1
there's 13
potent.
left.
And then I'm saving the 13. I'm never gonna get this fucking flying ability. I'm gonna save it though.
Okay, 2 obfuscate and 1 potence. Holy shit. This is a whole new character. This is amazing. Okay.
So what is the obfuscate? So I can look like something else?
Well, with the first 2 levels, you can now turn invisible. You can turn invisible, or you can choose the different level 1 power, Silence of Death, which means you're completely silent.
Oh, I think I want to turn invisible. Probably.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So the first level power doesn't require arouse, and if you're in shadows and don't move or attack someone, people can't see you. Sabrina used it on you at one point when you had her captured at first.
Right.
And the level 2 power is called, I forget what it's called, but basically, oh look, I have it right here. Unseen Passage. That does require a rouse check, but you are unseen as long as you're, as long as you don't like attack someone or talk to them or something like that. I mean, that's literal invisibility.
Okay, great. I think almost without realizing it, Jen sticks to the shadows, and then as she goes in, she just whoom. And then when she comes into the light, she appears again, but then when she goes in the shadows, whoom, and she doesn't even realize. Can she catch, before we go to the other storyline, which I really want to do, can I catch a view of myself in the reflection of like a window or something? So Jen knows what she looks like?
Yeah, you can do that. Yes, of course.
Okay, great.
And what is her reaction?
I think she's at first like doesn't realize. I think she does the thing where she's like looking this way and this is Jen, and then she turns and sees what she looks like now.
Yeah.
And kind of hates it and kind of likes it. She's like sort of
interesting.
Like fascinated.
Yeah, what's her current willpower?
0.
Oh Jesus. Okay. In that case, roll 2 dice and give me the lower result. And tell me if she succeeds or not.
Oh, wait, sorry. Roll 2 dice. Okay, here's 1.
Yeah.
That's a failure. And that's a failure.
Jen is
staying true to my name.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I think that when she sees herself like this, for the moment, she's having some sort of frenzy. Okay. Now, that doesn't mean that she has to go completely feral, but it means that she has to act fucking wackadoo somehow. Okay. And that's a technical term from the book, page 135, wackadoo. So, when she arrives at this encounter, which is happening now, I want her to be wackadoo. But first, I have to ask her, did she take lethal body in potence or did she take soaring leap?
Oh,
Oh,
what's lethal body?
lethal body. Fucking
Lethal
claw the
body.
shit out of mortals.
Lethal body means that she, without having to rouse, her unarmed attack do aggravated damage against mortals. Basically, her punching something is like hitting it with a baseball bat or a knife.
Only against mortals?
Well, and objects. And unfortunately, vampires are so durable. It's like it'd be like you're stabbing them with a knife or hitting them with a baseball bat. But it's they can heal and all that stuff.
I think Jen is still a friend to mortals, so I feel like I'll take Soaring Leap.
Soaring Leap, it is.
I ate someone, Abu. What more do you want from me?
Okay, you're right.
What a bad influence, Abu.
It
I
takes
was like the
time,
Phantom of the
man.
Opera now.
I'm gonna rule that the Phantom of the Opera is now soaring, leaping from house to house, in whatever the kind of strange mental state she has entered. And let me see something else here. Okay. I'm gonna have her arrive on the scene, especially if she's soaring, leaping.
Okay.
So these witches have all started chanting. Lucius, you have Curtis's body cradled in your arms, and they're all chanting around you.
Can I command the three people to just charge into them to almost disrupt this madness?
Yes, but you need to give me another roll to do that. So please roll your manipulation plus dominate.
Cool.
Save me.
I got 3 successes.
3 successes I'm going to say that it's enough. Okay, so that's what you're doing this turn. Let's see what the witches are doing. Okay. Okay, so the witches are enacting some sort of spell, and they're all working together with the chanting, right? And you notice that they've all taken hairpins out or something sharp, and the 3 leaders are cutting their wrists as they do this, as sort of to focus their magic, whereas the women behind them are just sort of chanting and holding hands, and they are attacking you.
Oh, great.
So let me see how your attackers, your distraction, your blood bags, the humans you've brought, let's see how they do against them. So here come your attackers. Okay, so here's what happens. The family of 3 goes running into the other ladies that are chanting, because they're kind of in a ring around the leaders, and they manage to knock over some of them and push them out of the circle so that they can't chant. But then the spell goes off, and it doesn't go off quite as well as it would have if you hadn't interrupted it like that. And you take 1 aggravated damage, Abu. I'm sorry, Lucius, as suddenly in your wrist, a big slit opens, out of nowhere, and your vitae starts to spill out of it. Make a rouse roll.
Right. I'm going to, as I'm rolling a rouse roll, as soon as I see this, I'm just going to direct it to Curtis and just pour him with my vitae.
Nice!
Okay, great.
And I succeeded.
You succeeded? Very good. Your blood pours onto Curtis's face, and that is when a strange creature lands wherever she would like nearby.
I want to land between Lucius and Curtis and the witches.
Okay, yeah. So you want to land in the center of everything.
Yes.
Okay, so suddenly Jen Brown, and you can see she's half Jen Brown and half something else, just lands with a soaring leap in the midst of all of you. And Jen Brown, now you have to tell me, what mental state is she in? It doesn't have to be, rawr, I'm feral. It could be something else.
I think I'm gonna retcon my thing a little bit. I think she's not excited about seeing herself in the mirror. I think she's disgusted and angry. So I think she lands and she's rageful, and she pulls the huge fucking sword up and is pointing it at all the witches. And is like, get the fuck back.
Yeah. Okay. So you say get the fuck back. And give me an intimidation roll. I'm going to let you have that as a free sort of round all to yourself because you've made a big entrance.
I have no intimidation.
Yeah, you do. Go ahead and go ahead and add that to like your charisma or whatever you'd like to use.
Okay.
And then I'm going to give you like a die of intimidation because you look like a monster.
Permanently or just now? For now.
Just for now, and then we'll decide later what you want permanently. Okay. I think your dots can move around a little bit if you'd like.
Fucking total failure.
Okay. So the witches are like, a pact was made. He promised us.
Promised you what?
A leech staked for us to use as we please. They're like holding like the blood inside of their own wrists. And they're like, and he promised, he made a pact that if he did not bring us one, that he would fill the role.
What if I bring you one?
There's no time.
There is time. Follow me. And Jen's gonna jump off and try to take them to the Archon.
What?
Okay. So let's see. I want a leadership role from her. Charisma plus leadership.
Charisma plus leadership.
Now against humans, I might give you well, be sure to take -2 off your dice because you're out of willpower.
Oh shit.
Sorry. But on the other hand, I'm not giving you an extra penalty because of your monstrosity, because these witches are used to seeing weird shit.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I got 1 success.
They are curious, and so they follow you, but they are you can tell that they're still like wary, and that they are kind of like, you don't trust them. You don't trust that they've put their guard down, and they're following you. Lucius, what do you want to do?
Well, I'm gonna follow them also with Curtis drenched in my. I'm gonna leap and follow.
Yeah, Curtis. Right. So let's see. No. Let's see. Let's see how this goes. So they're following you. You have just given Curtis some blood, right? You've given him some vitae.
And Your Honor, not to ask questions whose answers might be worse for me, but does Lucius's blood currently have the quality of acid? Is it like doesn't he have like
on, man?
Oh, okay, that's your call when it's like that. Okay, good. I'm just like, I'll help you. I dissolve. Whoops.
Okay, so they're following you, and Lucius, you can let's see here. If a vampire's in torpor and then it is suddenly look, this healing process for Curtis takes a moment, and it takes a moment for, if Clinton Trucks wouldn't mind bringing up the exact healing rules, if he is given a little bit to cut short a period of torpor, one can feed a slumbering vampire enough vampire blood of higher blood potency than theirs to slake one hunger. Oh, you did that.
Yeah.
Okay, so Curtis starts to like come alive in your arm.
And I'm looking at him, and I grab his head. I'm like, hey, look at me. You're hungry. I'm hungry.
Where is she?
Hungry.
Where is she?
No time. And I'm gonna look at the sort of the blood bags there, and I'm like, feed, boy, and sort of just like let go.
Oh yeah, so there's a family of 3, and I think that after they attacked, some of them here's what happened. So there's a family of 3. So the witches and Jen Brown have moved away. They're like moving farther into the complex. You were sitting there with Curtis. Curtis comes to famished. Curtis, you're at like hunger 4 right now, right? Because he's slaked 1 point of hunger. You look, and there are the teenage son and the mother are pulling at the father and going, "Come on, run!" And he's just kind of staring at Lucius, and he goes, "What next, boss?" And they're like, "Come on, run! They're evil! They're killing us!" And he's just like, "What do I do now?" Luckily for you, Lucius.
And I'm like, yeah, okay. I'm just still on Curtis, like, feed.
And I'm just like full, like Freddy Krueger, just like burned to a crisp and just like drooling fanged animal. Just like, yes. And I just bolt for the one that's straining toward Lucius and try to just like tackle him to get some.
No roll necessary. I'm going to allow you to start feeding on this guy. And when you do that, his wife and son scream in bloody horror. Let's see how they do. Okay. Okay, the wife like fully passes out from like complete like horror. She's just like laying on the ground like almost catatonic, like sobbing. The son starts beating on your back like, get off of him! Get off of him! You monster! Get off
And I'm
of
gonna
him!
sort of gonna go behind the boy, turn his head, and be like, child, run. And sort of like look deep into his eyes. Again, this humanity is just draining from me, and I'm almost thinking of different ways to, because he's making noise. It's almost like a fly, but I'm giving him this chance to be like, get the fuck out of here now.
Okay, if you're using compel, which I think doesn't require a rouse, then I'm gonna say he just does it.
Right.
Yeah, compel is free. So no roll necessary. You compel him. You don't have to rouse, and he runs. And
Cool.
now we need to ask Curtis Krieger, how much are you drinking?
Good question.
You can get your hunger down to 1 if you kill this man. You get your hunger down to 2 if you leave him in a state where he probably needs medical attention. You get your hunger down to 3 if you simply sip.
I whatever remains in Curtis. I think I've got 1 willpower left. Can I roll that to see?
I think that's a good idea.
Great, because I'm so out of it right now. All right, yeah. This burned, blood-charred monster just takes this man down, and while all this commotion is happening with the teenage son behind him, it's just like ravenously, like you're like seeing like the pressure of the suction is just like, like
God, yeah.
flaking.
Yeah,
like
he's
Curtis's eyes like rolling into his head, and as the burns just kind of like maybe start to recede a little bit, and then a pale corpse like drops from my fangs.
so you fed all the way.
Yeah.
Okay. That was aggravated damage you took before, right?
I was fully roasted.
Yeah, you were fully roasted. What I will allow you to do is I will allow you to remove 1 level of aggravated damage as if you have kind of healed overnight. This is what's so terrible about fire for vampires. So Curtis, you can heal that if you have to roll a rouse. So you're down to hunger 1 right now, and if the rouse fails, you'll be at hunger 2. But you will have a level of that aggravated damage will go away, and you will be able to kind of move. Oh yeah,
cool,
great. All right, I don't get hungrier.
Okay, great, and you healed, so you are able to move, but you're not exactly in fighting form. You're still Freddy Kruegered out. And by the way, even though you guys are already way down in humanity, Curtis, you need to take a stain for that.
Jesus.
Yeah, that was horrifying.
Yeah, of course. Come on, I just murdered a man by sucking him dry in front of his family.
Meanwhile, Jen Brown and the ladies are moving through the complex, and here's what we have to do now. We have to see, because there's still some Inquisition left on the island. They didn't all retreat. They just kind of fell back. And let's see here.
Is all of my damage healed as well?
Let's see. How much damage did you have?
I had 3 aggravated.
So now you have the ability to heal yourself, and you're at hunger 0. So you can roll. You have aggravated shit. Oh, but you're no longer thin blood. So it's now superficial. Turn it all into superficial.
Oh, cool.
And you can heal a level. You can heal, I believe, 2 levels of superficial by rousing the blood once.
Okay.
So rouse as many times as you'd like. And then each time you can get rid of 2 levels of superficial damage.
Okay, I'll just do it the once.
Okay. So you're at like 1 level of superficial damage right now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. And did you get hungrier?
I got hungrier.
Okay, so you're at 1 hunger, right?
Yeah.
So the ladies are all behind you, and you actually got lucked out. I just rolled a random encounter to see if you ran into the Inquisition, and even though you can see them and hear them like kind of opening up on people across the complex, they have apparently abandoned this area, and soon you are picking through the backyard back at that final retaining wall that kind of borders the complex, and they're laying on the ground with a knife through her own skull is Isabel, the Archon.
Here's your payment.
They walk up and look at her, and the motherly type one looks up and goes, "There's a lot of earth power in this one." And then they go, "Your debt is paid to us." And they start to prepare her to take her somewhere.
Okay, I'm gonna let him go and go back to the guys.
Okay, great. So you guys, you leave them. You walk back to Lucius and Curtis. Curtis is like getting up, you see, coming back from certain death that would have killed anyone. And the 3 of you are standing in the middle of Washington's Landing with it burning all around you. You can still hear submachine gun fire going off around you. And what do you want to do now?
Is there a dead body next to me?
Yeah, there certainly is a dead body next to you.
I'm going to rip off a piece of their cloth and tie it around the Nosferatu part of my face.
Very good. You do that. And so Jen Brown already looks like, partly Quasimodo. This sort of like bloody rag is like tied around her face.
I'm sort of I'm rousing and healing my superficial damage that I got from Isabel. Of course, not the aggravated, because I can't yet, but and I'm just going to kind of look around and be like, we need to get out of here. We need to go back to our base and reconvene, think about what we need to do.
Yeah. Your base, however...
The base is blown.
What do you mean?
They know where it is, man.
Oh, I'm going to check my phone to see if Dylan and Sabrina and Clara have said anything.
So there are a couple messages on your phone. One is they tell you that Dylan responds to you and gives you a different Steel City tanning location where they have like broken in. And it's in I think the last one was in Squirrel Hill, and this one's in Shady Side, I think. Steel City tanning. Okay. And so that's where they are at. And she's like, delete the text, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then she says, have you seen this? And she's attached a video.
Okay, I play it.
It's a YouTube video. And it shows like soldiers in Washington's Landing, like shooting people as they come out of their houses. And then it shows soldiers with flamethrowers like torching houses.
I want to read the comments.
What is it's basically like it was posted to like Pittsburgh news sites, and now it's also on YouTube, and people are going absolutely fucking nuts. And they're saying that the government is trying to like purge people who have the virus.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Can I look up, are there like any protests happening? Can I see like
it's like 3:00 in the morning, so not yet. Okay. But when this like gets to everybody tomorrow, I mean, good Lord, this is going to be the biggest story of all time. It's going to be like the most horrific. I mean, this puts like other tragedies like Kent State, like, in the past. This is an insane, if people believe what it apparently is happening here, National Guardsmen are just like shooting people.
Uh-huh. I'm going to show the guys and be like, Looks like the Inquisition's going to have a little bit of trouble tomorrow. Let's get out of here.
Wasn't that a shame? Hey, what did they do to you?
It's not what they did to her. It's what she decided to do.
I'm gonna like touch my face and be like, we have to go now. Let's move.
Hey, could have been worse.
That's as you're running out. So tell me what exit you're taking to get out of here. Are you going out the back?
Jump now, can't I? I'm gonna
you
soaring leap
onto the freaking. I'm gonna be joining you too on the soaring leap side. I'm gonna try and help Curtis as well. I'm gonna try and get him on side and leap with this guy too.
Well,
so,
you can shoot me up with the alley-oop, and I can turn myself weightless at the top.
Exactly. But I think, do you know the way that we entered like through the back before, where we dropped everyone? I think that's the way.
Okay, great. So, here I'm going to narrate this because I did roll. The Inquisition's still here; they're not gone, and one final encounter is about to occur. You guys go up over that wall, like with your soaring leap. It's like no roll necessary. Like both of you land on it like gargoyles, and you can see that the witches have already dragged off Isabel somewhere. You get up onto that wall and you pull Curtis up with you, and then you land down in the Allegheny, and you can start moving across, and you see that a Jeep full of Inquisition with one of those big machine guns is like parked looking at the river, like waiting for someone to come up out of the water. And now I'm going to roll to see if they noticed you. Please roll your own stealth. One of you can be the lead and the others can just aid them.
Is my obfuscate work now?
Oh yes, it does.
Yeah, and I'm full obfuscation also.
Amazing. So why don't you guys, you have to rouse for unseen passage, which makes you completely invisible. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And
Great.
Lucius, you're the only one then that needs to roll stealth here.
Yeah. I got 3.
You guys, with your invisibility, that's what did it, because they got 4 successes to notice you, but I took away 2 for 2 people who are technically invisible, and then Lucius just got 3, so Lucius is able to remain quiet as well. And so you kind of land in the water, not like with a big splash, but like with a sploop down into the water, and you're kind of just moving silently, and these guys are kind of watching for you, and you move down river a little bit, and then you emerge onto the bank without having triggered those sentinels that were waiting for you, those sentries. And so now you are in the mud, cattails and high grass around you. Curtis still looks like Freddy Krieger, like a burn victim. Jen Brown looks like a creature out of myth on one side of her body. Lucius, you look fine, except that I assume your clothes are ripped to shreds. You're covered in blood and sharp.
Yeah.
And there's about an hour and some change before sunrise.
So I'm gonna look to Jen and be like, where to?
Jen's gonna kind of collapse against a nearby tree as sort of the adrenaline subsides and everything that just happened hits her. And she's like, we can't go back to them.
What? Why?
Look at us. Look at me. We're fucking monsters.
Jen, this is not the time nor the place to have an existential crisis. You look.
Gonna get them killed, Lucius.
We're not gonna get them killed. We need to go back. We need to help them. Please, Jen.
They're really having a great time of it right now. How much can we say we've really helped Dylan? I know for goddamn sure I haven't helped Craig. Craig doesn't need this fucking life. He needs to get out of here. He needs to get into fucking rehab. He doesn't need this.
And pointing at his face, Lucius, not to sway you either way, but you might remember that with your humanity now down to 3, you never look human. I actually should have pointed that out when I said you look fine. Your low humanity makes you always look a bit like a monster.
I'm kind of being like, but my sister, she needs me.
No, she doesn't, Lucius. No, she doesn't. Look, well, we should stay somewhere safe for tonight. We'll talk about this tomorrow. But we can't go back there. Not tonight. I can't go back there tonight.
A text has come through.
I check it.
Marius Sakura, are you in need of a safe haven?
Fuck.
What?
I show them the text.
Oh, fucking hell. He's the one who hooked me up with those. I assume we've debriefed a little bit. Those ladies you dealt with. Thank you.
Yeah.
Fine. Take it. We'll go. But I'm not leaving my sister. But let's go. Fine.
Okay. I tell them that we're on our way to Marius.
How lovely. So let's do one more roll. Let's do a survival roll to get you across the city to see how that goes. Because I'm going to say that in your current appearance, you're completely monstrous. There's really no blush of lifing and sneaking past people. It is, however,
I can boom, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Of course, you can turn invisible. Okay, yeah. I still want to see how quickly or see how it goes getting across the city for you. So could you please, just one of you and the other 2 can assist, give me like a streetwise or a survival roll plus wits?
Yeah.
I'll roll my wits as an assist, but I'm really bad at everything else.
Streetwise,
I will roll this.
2 successes.
1 success.
3 successes.
Okay, so you guys realize you've come so far because early in our chronicle, even before our good friend Abu joined us, getting across the city often meant hiding under cardboard boxes or getting into a house and getting in a closet really quickly. And now these 3 monsters are just going invisible and leaping from house to house. No, truly, I mean, it's like a completely new dimension. It's like you are full monsters now. And you look down at the few people moving on the streets and you just see heat signatures. You see blood bags, as Lucius so aptly put it before, and you leap and move through the city like bats or like creatures of the night, and soon you arrive at the old monastery that was converted into an old hotel, and you see the big black car parked in front with Junior, the mouthless valet and chauffeur, waiting for you out front. He opens the door and gestures that you may go inside.
Go in.
Walk in. Yeah.
Marius is standing in the lobby of his grand old hotel, and he has some Straczynski playing. He's like, welcome, my friends. Oh, we should celebrate, eh? Come. And he walks right up to the completely burnt Curtis Krieger and gives him a big hug, holds him close, and then he looks over at Jen Brown and he looks closely at her and he's like, you've been through some changes as well. Don't take that the wrong way, darling. If anybody is familiar with the vicissitudes of our condition, it is me. Yes? Is anybody thirsty? And he moves over to where he has, you see at the bar, there's just like a foot is sticking out from behind it. And he's got 3 big goblets of blood ready for each of you.
I'm going to Yeah, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, I'm gonna look at it, and I can already tell that it's probably human blood, and I'm like, I thought you know your guests well, Marius.
Yes, well, Dr. Ali, I suggest you start to learn to enjoy a slightly less dangerous vintage if you intend to work with me. Because we, like it or not, are a coterie now. And you, my friend, you are a little bit dangerous for the things that I have planned.
I'm like, what do you mean, dangerous for the things that you have planned?
I, unlike many in the Camarilla, would not judge you for what you have done. I think that you have broken free of the shackles the Camarilla puts on other vampires, and you have empowered yourself. But you must remember balance. If you continue to feed on other kindred, eventually you will lose your battle with their psyches, and one of them will take hold of your soul. Even worse, you may degenerate into a white, and then I will put you down like a dog. No offense, Mr. Krieger.
Huh. I'm just like, and you look over at Curtis. He's like, hey, are you gonna finish that? Like looking at the goblet you haven't touched.
I'm gonna kind
everybody that
push,
drinks the wine, everybody that drinks the wine can take one off of their hunger.
I'm gonna sort of look at him and be like, you seem to know quite a lot about the practices that we have all seemed to have got ourselves used to.
I've told you I've been watching you. And I'm going to give you the education you were never given. I'm going to teach you everything you need to know about the kindred. And we will be the new ruling coterie of this city.
I think that strikes a weird chord in Jen, and she kind of pushes past them and is like, I'm going to sleep.
Yes. You won't be staying up as late as you used to, will you?
That makes her stop for a second. And then she keeps walking.
You need me, Jen Brown. You need my wisdom and my guidance.
I think you should give her a bit of time. She's had a bit of a day today.
Yeah.
Yes, I can see that. You see that I have powerful friends.
Yeah.
Wait, what do you mean? Was one of the friends
the
ones who tried to kill me?
Yes, and the ones who have just created a scandal that will rock the entire country by posting a video online. The only way that we could have defeated the Inquisition, and of course it took me, and you, to create a ruckus, a large ruckus, in order to make it so. We make a very good team with my mind and your savage instincts.
I'm going to go to bed, and I'm going to sort of walk and like decide to go to bed.
All right. Very good.
I stay. I'm picking up Lucius's blood, and I'm like,
okay.
Yeah.
So,
and I'm going to try to heal some of my damage also.
Curtis, they seem hesitant to trust me.
Yeah, well, I guess they'll come around as they see how, useful and advantageous we can all be to one another.
Maybe you could talk to them. Explain how I've done right by you.
Mm-hmm.
I merely wish to have your friendship. Together we could make this city into a paradise for our kind. free from the laws of the Camarilla or the sloppy depredations of the anarchs.
Yeah. I'd love to know more about this kindred paradise of yours. Like, how is the... I mean, if anything goes even remotely wrong out here, they're sending somebody in a freaking like wolf mask to come and clean it up. What, you gonna fly under their radar? We're gonna be like a little vampire free state?
We won't be a vampire free state. We will be a free state of supernaturals, united in a common purpose, to take what we want from the human populace and to protect each other from another attack by the Inquisition. Imagine if we had the ladies I introduced you to working with us regularly, hiding our presence from cameras, from the watchful eyes of mortals. Excuse me. And there are others that we can bring over to our side. I'm going to take another sip of blood.
And Curtis is like, others. Yeah, there's little goblins, werewolves, Frankensteins. Yeah.
There aren't any Frankensteins. That's not... No.
It's like, you never know. I mean, every day it's something fucking new. Yeah, and then I'm like, all right, I'm going to turn in.
Show you.
I'll talk to him. Hey, one more question before I turn in.
Yes.
You're hotel dog friendly?
Pets are allowed here, Curtis Krieger. I have one of my own. And he gestures toward Junior, who's standing at attention.
All right. Right answer. And after all that blood, a little bit more of the burns kind of go away, maybe.
Very good.
Can I say that in the oh, sorry, go ahead, Abu.
I was just gonna say I'm gonna come towards where you are, but you do your thing first.
I wanted to be not asleep yet.
Okay.
I want to see if I can feel Sonia or her soul or any of her knowledge inside me.
Well, yeah, why don't you give me a let's see, I'm looking at your sheet. Give me a resolve roll.
Resolve.
A resolve plus composure.
Okay. 1 success.
Yeah, you feel like if you work really hard, if you really concentrate, you get little snippets of images of things that Sonia has seen or thought. Were you looking for anything in particular?
I think I wanted to see. I think Jen wants to see an interaction with her and Sabrina.
Very good. Jen doesn't see an interaction with her and Sabrina. Jen instead sees a one-room apartment somewhere else, somewhere very far away. The memory seems almost in black and white. The people are wearing clothes from early in the last century. And she sees through the eyes of ostensibly Sonia as a young girl who looks like a 8 or 9 year old version of Sabrina is being kind of taken out the door by older men who exchange some coins with a gentleman in the apartment. And then start to pull away this young girl who looks like Sabrina. And then the memory fills with like a blurriness as of tears. And then it's gone.
And then can I come in at that moment?
You can.
I'm like, Sorry. Was I disturbing
No.
you?
No, what is it, Lucius?
Look. I can feel this almost coldness washing over me. It makes sense what he was saying. Marius. See, the thing is, I know that my mind is strong enough to withstand a lot. But when it comes to just myself, I can feel myself disappearing, and I just wanted to look, the actions that were taken tonight, I know I don't know, maybe you feel upset or angry, or what I'm trying to say is that you don't look hideous to me. I kind of get it. And it's not necessarily something that I am gonna get used to, obviously. I mean, look, I just want you to know that I care for you. And I just want you to be, to know that the path that I am on, I still mean that I'm trying to amend. But don't go down my path.
I hated her, Lucius. I hated her so much. And now I have her thoughts in my head.
Yes, but
what did I do?
You simply Jen, you gave in to something which you should have really given into a long time ago. And believe me, it'll help you in the long run, but ultimately don't lose yourself to this.
Have you lost yourself to it?
Between you and me, I feel it. And I'm fighting it. Slowly but surely.
Jen reaches out with her non-monstrous hand and takes Lucius's hand.
Is the door closed to the room?
That's up to them.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think it's slightly open.
I think Curtis, quiet as he is, like maybe just in the crack of the doorway, sees those hands holding each other, and it's like,
and then I'm just sort of going to look at the hand, I'm going to squeeze it a bit and then be like, look, let's sleep. Today's been a day. Let's convene tomorrow. Yes. And then I'm going to sort of turn and walk out.
So.
And you don't see me.
Right.
I wondered how you guys could make this even more fucked up, and you did it, in a beautiful way. So I want to narrate one thing, and then we are going to have an epilogue for Vampires of Pittsburgh Lockdown. So the first thing I'm going to narrate is that how everybody falls asleep and what the slumber is like. And Jen Brown, this is the first time I think that when when the sun comes up, you feel yourself truly like turn into a corpse. And what's most disturbing is that it happens to one half of your body first. Like you are laying there in this like lightless hotel room, and the one side of your body just dies, and you could see how that would be just, I mean, really kind of tragically like rip your heart out when you just feel half of your body die a little earlier, and then the rest of you just kind of succumbs to rigor mortis. And before, when the sun would come up, it was kind of like going to sleep for you, but now it is like dying every time. And through your mind as you sleep, visions of some European city, people in kind of a sepia tone existence of wagons and bonnets and people screaming and hitting and throwing things at each other, bricks coming through windows, a terrible muddled dream of some other existence, somebody else's life flitters through your mind as your body lay dead in a boutique hotel under an overpass in Pittsburgh. Meanwhile, Lucius Ali, you're used to the feeling of death washing over you, but you actually experience a vision while you are dead, while your body lay inert. You feel yourself walking through a field, and you feel weaker. You feel like smaller, and when you look at your hands, they are white and a little bit. They have less hard work has gone into these hands. They look a little bit more like someone who hasn't spent years of their life like working on people in an ER. This person, whoever it is, whose eyes you're seeing through, goes to this place that looks like a very old-fashioned building. In the distance, you can see the lights of modern Pittsburgh, and everything is in color. But he is walking, because it appears to be a man, walking up to an old barn or an old plantation, and he is walking inside of this old barn, and it really looks like a historical building of some sort, because they've even put out like old types of plows and things like that. And he is walking to an area where dirt is freshly kind of churned up, and he is moving the soil through his fingers. And for a second, a flash of an obsidian face, a woman's face, with like no hair, who looks like black marble, like is kind of staring back at him for just a moment, and then he drops the dirt, and then the vision fades. Curtis Krieger, you just sleep. You don't have a vision in you. You just are healing up as best as you can. And so now we will move into the epilogue for Lockdown. And I can tell you that you need to tell me how you wrap up your loose threads. You can choose any action you want. This is the hardest thing to do in role-playing, when the GM just turns to you and goes, okay, what happens in the story now? But I want to know kind of like, Ruby's still out there, your touchstones are still out there. I can tell you that weeks pass and you begin to heal up if you'd like during this little portion, or you can call for a scene that's happening the next day. It's up to you. But the thing that happens in the story over the next couple weeks is there is an enormous investigation of a cell within the United States military who illegally decided to conduct a purge in the Pittsburgh area and kill hundreds of civilians in the Washington's Landing neighborhood. And because of this, the military presence and the extreme quarantine being practiced in Pittsburgh is being debated in the houses of Congress. And it could all change very soon, because in just a few months, there will be a presidential election. and things may change. Right-wing media is calling it an Antifa uprising that had to be put down by the United States military, but the American Civil Liberties Union and other groups are calling it basically Nazi tactics, a purge of people who may have been sick. And so that is working itself out in the national media while you conduct your business here on the ground in Pittsburgh. And so who'd like to go first and tell me what they do in these weeks following this battle at Washington's Landing? Then I shall call on you. Yes, Abu, go ahead. What is Lucius
no, I was just gonna,
up to?
Yeah, I think I'm almost going to just... If I got a message or anything from Clara, I would have instructed someone with better things than I have to basically tell her I'm okay, keep surviving, keep strong, finding Archon, and at the same time, because I think I would have already now known that Jen gave the Archon up, right? So
yes,
I think I'm going to be looking for her. Because I'm going to be on a mission to try and find her.
Oh yeah, so I was about to say, does that desire go away? Let's see here, Lucius Ali, your ambition was for a new kindred society, but your desire was to destroy the Archon, and you don't feel that she's been destroyed, eh?
No,
Lucius Ali. First of all, Clara doesn't for a second accept you saying stay away. Right. And you have to have Marius's assistant kind of make the text for you, because at this point he's the only one with normal fingers. I mean, maybe Jen Brown can do it, but it takes she can only use one hand to do it, and it takes a while. Yeah, she's going to need a typist as well. So you send these messages to Clara, and she keeps going, "No, where are you? I'm going to find you." Do you respond to those?
No.
Okay.
Because I feel like... Actually, you know what?
Yeah.
Part of me does. I think I will, because she's gonna fucking find me. Look at her. Anyway,
she's gonna find you. She's gonna find you. She's gonna find you. And by the way, speaking metagame, she's too fun to just leave out, right? I mean, she's just too fun to leave out. So, although you guys could definitely take distance for a little bit, but what do you want to do?
I think I'm gonna be doing it quite secretively. I think I'm gonna be going behind everyone's backs in a way, and kind of going to find the Archon. And
can Clara go with you?
Absolutely.
Okay, great. And so now add 2 dice, because Clara is good at investigating things, to a pool of, I think, let's call it intelligence plus investigation, to figure out where these witches are keeping the Archon.
6 successes.
That's a lot. And so one night, you find yourselves in near Gravity Hill in Pittsburgh. In that park, there was sort of a shed that's like kind of the groundskeeper shed. And you go inside, and there's just like rakes and a lawnmower and all these things inside of there. But Clara's the one who goes back to the back wall of it and starts to jimmy out the plyboard that makes up the back wall and pulls it free. And you see that there's another chamber behind that one. And inside there, hung up like she is crucified in torpor, is Isabel, your sire. And Clara's like, "Oh God, we found her, Luce." You can see that she is completely in torpor. There's no way for her to awaken right now or fight back in any way. And beyond that, she is also restrained by chains. But I would, if you don't mind, Lucius, I would have you make a wits plus awareness roll. Clara's going to make one too.
Okay, I've got 2 successes.
Okay. Okay. You actually got 4 altogether with Clara helping you out, which is enough for her to go for you guys to notice that there is like blood, dried blood, and kind of like on the edges of this like little chamber, like between where she pulled the plywood out. There's like a line of blood that's been drawn.
Mm.
Can I possibly use a plank of wood and just put it put it over slowly? Like if this was the line, it's almost like I want to do like the wood goes across the line first before actually land, because to see if there's anything that happens, and then slightly possibly place it on the ground.
Okay. Yeah. So you put the plank over, and as you just sort of slightly start to touch it, nothing flares up. No sort of trap goes off. You can give me a composure plus occult roll to see if you notice anything like kind of in the ether or whatever.
I can't blood surge on that, can I?
Sure, if you'd like. Yeah, if you'd like, you
I?
may. I'd say he's in like a high tension moment. He's trying to he's in the moment when he's going to finally really do his final business.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I failed, so I get hungrier.
Okay.
But I got 5 die.
Okay.
I got 3 successes.
Okay. So he kind of he's attuning his like vitae inside of him to notice if any kind of change happens in sort of the ether and sort of the soul sphere, the earth power sphere that these mages work in. And when he does that, he doesn't feel anything having put the board down. But I'll allow you to ask again, like when he does other things, if he feels anything.
Okay. I think I'm going to turn to Clara and tell her, keep watch. Be careful.
She stands outside the shed waiting, looking for anybody approaching.
As I'm going to walk slowly across the board. Do I feel anything?
Walking slowly across the board, you do feel something. And what you feel is like a momentary... well, here's what happens. Somewhere out in the woods, some kind of weird bird makes like a loud, like a whippoorwill or something, makes a weird call. And it just happens the second you step over that threshold.
Right. I'm like, okay. I'm just gonna... is she bolted?
She's bolted.
Like, completely bolted?
She's, like, bolted down. Yes, she is.
So it will take me time to free her?
It will take you quite a bit of time to free her, yeah.
Fuck.
Well, no, okay. Quite a bit is not fair. It depends on how many successes you get. And you have potents. Okay. So you could start ripping apart these bonds, if you'd like.
I think... I'm going to rip her head off.
Okay. Look, we could sit here and we could roll all night to see how it happens, but the easier way would be to cut her head off, and you could have brought something with you to do that. Are you doing that?
I think, probably her knife.
Okay, yeah. You have her knife that Jen Brown had.
Yeah.
And you start just sawing against the Archon's like neck. As you were like almost done, Clara comes in and it's like, someone's coming. And you finally make the final thrust. And right as you do, the Archon's eyes come open for a moment and says, I love you, my child. And she evaporates into dust as you decapitate her. And I think this was your ambition, but I think that killing another kindred, I think it does give you a stain. So please take a stain.
Okay. I've got so many stains, man.
Have they hit but they haven't hit your humanity yet, though.
Not yet, no.
Okay. Stains can't affect you when your humanity's too low to hit. You know?
I'm telling you.
Your desire to destroy the Archon is gone. I've taken it off of your sheet. And I'm going to leave Lucius there. I think that he, how does he try to escape? I need to find out how he tries.
I think it's literally just using Clara, and she when she says someone's coming, it's almost like, right, I've done this, let's get out of Dodge. I think I probably would have just wanted to peg it with Clara. We probably would have set up like some form of car or whatever getaway nearby.
Yeah, I think you have. I think the car's running. And so you're in the car as you see a bunch of women with flashlights, like kind of like running after you across the park. But you are away in your car. And let's see, you just fulfilled a desire. Clinton Trucks, please look up what that means for Lucius, but that is his epilogue. And now let us talk to Curtis Krieger. Curtis Krieger.
Okay. I think I'd like to, if we can kind of say that Curtis asks his more financially secure friends here for a favor. And if I can, maybe like Curtis gets entry for Craig at a rural rehab clinic.
Okay.
Where he can I'm thinking of something like Sound of Metal, like a group home where Craig can just have another chance to clean up. I'm doing my part, but I can't. I'm not your dad. Like, you gotta want this.
Okay. Interesting. That's a pretty humane thing to do.
But it's also tactical because I can't have him around.
No, of course. It is also tactical. What is your humanity currently?
It's currently still 4.
Okay. So I think that you find Craig. It takes you maybe a couple weeks, because he kind of ditches the we're talking about fulfilling a desire, Clinton Trucks. He kind of ditches the rest of the mortals as he did before. Remember, after seeing you kind of destroy those. Yeah. And so it takes you a couple weeks to find him. And when you do, you confront him at like an all-night diner where he's kind of sitting. You can tell he's been using now and again. He's probably stole some money. He only has enough for like this little paper cup of coffee, and you're talking to him. And so I want you to tell me what you say to him. And also, let's see if the other people in the diner don't like kind of take note of you, because I look pretty monstrous. Up. Yes, you do.
All right. I guess I'll try to, I blush of life, I guess, but I can't ever drive away the monster. Look, man, I got a spot out in the foothills that you can go to. You got to get out of the city, man.
Roll humanity.
All right. Let's see. 1 success.
Forget it, man. I'm dead like you. Are you even listening to yourself? Do you hear what your voice sounds like? You're using too, man. Just fucking let me die. Make a wits plus awareness roll. Make a wits plus awareness roll.
Oh, no. I have no. Wits plus awareness. Okay. 3 successes.
That's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the wits plus awareness allows you to know that the cook and the waitresses are staring at you and talking about you in a anxious and animated manner.
Okay.
Probably because a blush of life doesn't do much for you anymore, Curtis. Mm-hmm. You look like a monster.
The eyes are too weird. ears are too long.
And you're not talking to him quite as calmly as you think you are, or you're kind of growling at him. Yeah.
Gotta get out of town. It's not safe. Look, if I had a way back, then maybe I would take it. But there is a way back for you, man. If you want it. Look. And I stand up and I take a little card with the information out and I slide it over to him. You got a way back. I don't have that option. I can only go deeper. So look, it's your choice. It's your choice.
Excuse me, gentlemen. And the big kind of like heavy-set cook, still wearing an apron, comes up beside both of you, and he's like, "We don't want junkies in here. I'm gonna have to ask you to leave. If you're not gonna order something, you got to go."
And I like, nobody's causing any trouble here, man.
Yeah, you are causing trouble because we don't want bums inside of the diner. So head on out, boys. I don't want you guys using in here.
Nobody's using anything in here. Right, Craig? You're not using anything.
Craig just kind of like looks away. It's up to you to handle this, Curtis Krieger. And the guy's like, I will call the cops.
Oh, God. I'm always confronted by how Curtis doesn't have any charismatic or mind bending abilities. He is only a weapon. Only a weapon. Okay.
And that's the problem the gang will have, my friend.
Yep. 2 successes.
Okay.
Great.
So
no,
that's enough for you.
No, I fuck that. I turn around and this guy just sees like I'm wearing a mask that says "Don't bully my breed," and he just sees a couple of yellow eyes lock up with him. And he's like, "I don't remember asking you to butt in. No one has. I'm sorry, man. Are we making a scene? Are we making a fucking scene?" And I push him.
Okay. Give me an intimidate roll.
Yeah. Which again, like he's a little guy, so it never works out right. But he got 1, which is all the successes he can get.
This guy got 2 successes, and he's like, I'm calling the cops. And then he goes to call the cops. And Craig is like, you're telling me to get control of myself? Look at you, man. You ever think about just like sitting out on the corner when the sun comes up?
Jesus.
Craig.
Ending it, dude.
My man. And
you're going to hurt more people, man.
I take hold of him and I'm like, Craig, who are you talking to? I think about it every night.
That's the only way out for you, man. You know it, man. It's the only way out. He gets up. He shoulders his like bag of shit that he has left to him, and he goes,
"Get out, man. Just go.
It's over.
Just go.
The war's over. We lost, Curtis. We lost, man." He walks out. Curtis, that hurt. I think that I don't want to give you a stain, but Jesus. I think you need to roll willpower again at -2.
Do I have
roll
like
2 dice?
Yeah, okay. Jesus Christ. Yeah. Opioids are a hell of a drug. 1 success.
Not enough. You can tell me how, because you got 1 success, but Curtis's beast takes control and he does something awful here. What does he do?
Yeah. I think he's like, he walks out and then Curtis turns around and is like, sorry for the show, everyone. Have a great night. And he like throws like some money on the table and walks out. But when just a scene of like that guy, the guy who confronted us, the cook, the burly guy's like at his car at like three of them at the end of the midnight shift.
End of the shift, yeah.
Fumbling with his keys, and then suddenly he's like in the keys of his car, it's just like the shadows just part, and it's no, maskless. He's just Curtis is just there.
Hey, man. I don't want trouble, man. People saw you, man. Think about what you're doing.
Yeah. That's the problem. Nobody thinks about what they do. You're right. I didn't have anything. You kicked us out before I could clean my plate. And I'm just so fucking hungry. And I just like...
Great. Great. Go ahead and restore his 3 if you kill him, 2 if you don't. If you just leave him in with medical problems, and 1 if you just take a sip. You don't have to tell me right now because we are at the end of our 2 hours. But we have to epilogue our friend Jen Brown. Jen Brown, what do you think she does in these weeks following?
I'm sorry.
I think Jen is going to use, with a fake name and stuff, but she's going to use basically any tech sector or finance things that she can get her hands on to basically set up a nice apartment in a different city. And she's going to tell Dylan and Sabrina to go there. And she's going to basically be like, you just need to hide out for a while because things are too hot. But basically she's just planning on not contacting them again.
Very good. She sets it up for them in Philadelphia. Just a couple hour car ride away, just in case something were to go down. You guys could be there in just a few hours. And let's see if they do, without me telling you, let's see if they go for it.
Without telling me.
Yeah, I mean, well, let's see.
Could I, in very Jen Brown fashion, could I have like something like a camera or something set up in the apartment? Not in like a sketchy place, but just so that I know that they're there. If anyone were to break in, I would be able to tell.
Yeah, in very Jen Brown fashion, you can do that insane thing. And so somewhere hidden in this nice apartment you've gotten for them is a camera. And it's like literally hidden in like their thermostat or something like that. Mm-hmm. And like weeks later, Jen Brown is like watching these like grainy black and white photos, half of her monstrous, of Sabrina and Dylan like opening a door and walking into the place and kind of looking around at this like furnished apartment and then looking at each other. So there they are.
Thing is,
yes.
I think Jen wants to check in with Curtis because maybe he's been sort of distant for the last couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm. Very good. This will be our last scene. So where do you find him?
Do you call me or do you find me?
I think I find you.
Okay.
Maybe in the hotel or something that we're still staying at. Hey.
What's up?
Look, things have been kind of crazy for a little while, and I don't think I ever thanked you for coming back for me.
Yeah, what else was I gonna do?
You could have left.
Yeah, I could have. I know I don't talk much, but I mean, look, my family didn't so much want me around. I walked out on a lot of people, Jen. I burned a lot of people. I've broken trust with a lot of people. There's a lot of people that hate me, okay? But you trust me. Sometimes it feels like you're the only thing out here that trusts me to do the right thing. And so if I don't live up to that trust, I might as well just fucking walk into the sun, man.
Curtis.
You'd come back for me. I know you'd come back for me. So I gotta come back for you. But back to the city. Back to Sonia's little fucking prison. Even if I go and fuck it up real bad.
What happened?
Huh?
Jen sits down in front of him and just looks at him. Maybe should I make a roll for this? But I just feel like him saying that he might walk into the sun. I feel like I know something. He's never said that to me before.
Yeah, that's yes, that's a really troubling thing. What do you want to roll? I don't think you need a roll to understand.
Okay,
you understand. Yeah.
Curtis, what happened?
And I think for the first time, maybe Curtis lets like a ton of stuff pour out. And like, it's everything. It's like, of course Dad worked for the mill but then was unemployed and on meds. And then he took off, be a man, Curtis. So I go in the military and then terrible, yeah, it was great, but I did things, man, things I can't ever take back or undo. And then like, I stole from my own family. You understand? They said they never want to see me again because I ripped them off too many times, like girlfriends in and out, living on I was fucking criminal, and I shouldn't be alive, but they chose me for some reason, and I'm here now, and this is what I got. This is all I got.
And now
You're all I got. You're all I got.
And now I am going to ask for a roll. We're going to do remorse tests for both of you. And the way that works is look at the how many humanity you have and then how many stains. And whatever's in the gap between the two, roll that many dice. So Curtis, how much is that for you? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
the unmarked
4
spaces. It's 4? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And Jen Brown, how much is that for you? Do you have some stains right now?
I have 3 stains and 7 humanity.
Oh, okay. So 0.
Right 0.
Yeah. So I think that I want you to roll twice and take the lesser. Okay. And then Curtis, you can roll 4 full dice and just see what your let's see how this goes.
I got 1 success.
1 success is enough. You may remove a stain.
I failed.
Jen Brown, you don't remove a stain. You haven't had any remorse. If you get another stain, you're going to test to see if you lose humanity.
Okay.
And now I'm sorry to have interrupted you for the mechanic, but I think it's important. Curtis, there is a way back, maybe even for someone as far gone as Curtis. You guys can let me know how this scene finishes.
Okay.
What was the last thing you said?
It's like, you're all I got.
Jen goes to hug him, and one of her arms is too heavy, and it throws her off, and she just grips his arm with her human hand. And if you're ever planning on walking out into the sun, I won't be far behind. So just don't.
Let's end it there.
All right.
Let's end it there. Sorry. I'm so sorry. It's too beautiful, and I apologize, Ross. I didn't even interrupt you.
No. It's just the two of them, like hand on shoulder, like, yeah. Okay. And then maybe there's a rustle in the corner, and in this intervening time, walking the streets, there are 2 canine eyes watching this whole thing that he's found.
Yeah. And I think somewhere Lucius and Clara are driving away from that park, and the road seems to go on forever, and they never seem to get farther away from the park. It's like it just keeps growing and elongating in front of them. And that is where we will end. What does that mean? Maybe we'll find out next time, or maybe we won't. I think next time we may be taking a trip to Philadelphia. But let's give a digital round of applause for our fantastic players here for Vampires of Pittsburgh. Lockdown. We have ended the lockdown phase of our chronicle.
What a
Yay.
What a ride.
What a ride.
It was quite a ride. Characters have changed irrevocably in beautiful ways. Thank you guys so much for that amazing role playing the whole time.
I mean, damn, just y'all are so for whatever this genre of thing is. I don't like y'all, like Jen and like Ashley and Abu. Y'all are so good.
So are you, dude?
It's crazy.
You mate.
It's so good. I'm like,
It's so fun to watch everyone play this. It's the fucking
Jared,
best.
my God, yeah.
Yes.
So
look,
fun.
Jared playing like 70 characters. It's just the best.
Yeah, I know. It's insane.
Thank you.
No, thank you guys. This is so fun. So I think we have to talk about what happens next. We'll all talk about it together so that we have the chronicle that we want going forward. But I think in the interim, we've been promising for a little bit that Curtis was going to take a trip to Philadelphia. And I think that maybe even Lucius and Jen Brown can go with him, because I think I've figured out how they might have business there as well. So, guys, thank you again. We'll see you soon. We'll see you next Sunday. Until then, everybody follow these guys on their socials. Tell them how much you enjoy them, and we'll see you soon, guys. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Later. Okay. That was awesome. That was so fun. And it feels so good to play out a chronicle to ends of storylines and things like that. Very, very, very fun. So we have other shows coming up on the Stream of Blood. I'm going to tell you about those right now. Soft Shoes, Roachford, Von Burplesby. These are heroes whose kind are rarely seen on a weeknight, but Tuesdays on SOB are the taste of blood, and this Tuesday is our Thaco Tuesday. It's 1980 style D&D, where the hit points are single digits, but the adventure is incalculable. So please check us out 7 p.m. Pacific for our Thaco Tuesday this coming Tuesday. Blood and Blades wrapped up a faction turn last night and will be turning Duskfall on its ear. Tune in Saturday at 6 p.m. Pacific to see the Tin Whistles. They're back. Troy LaValle, Joe O'Brien, and Ross Bryant contend with the tumult of the new upturned Duskfall based on a faction turn where way too many clocks were filled, is what I heard. Sorry I couldn't be there. I had a head cold. All right, and Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition is by Modiphius Entertainment, Paradox Interactive, and The World of Darkness. Kenneth Haidt and all those other people I mentioned wrote it. Jason Carl helped produce it. Original artwork for Vampires of Pittsburgh is by Will Potworth, Pottorff. You can check him out at willpotworth.com or on his Instagram. Original music for Vampires of Pittsburgh is by Axel Kazis Taylor. You can hear more at soundcloud.com. The best way to support our work is by subscribing. I mentioned that earlier. Please subscribe on Twitch. And also, you can tell people what we're up to and support us by subscribing and commenting on YouTube. We love to get your comments. We do listen to them. I take constructive criticism. I take ideas. We all do. And we love to hear what you think. Please check out our new website, streamofblood.com. You can also subscribe to our Google Calendar to see what we have coming up. We're also on Instagram, Twitter, Reddit, and Facebook. But the very best way to, the very best, most delicious way, if you're a cartoon bear in a cereal commercial, is to follow us on our Discord. And I believe we're posting the invite link right now to follow us on our Discord, the Server of Blood, where we have all kinds of channels to talk about Vampires of Pittsburgh and many other things. Games you'd like to see coming up on Taste of Blood, our Cthulhu games, our Blades in the Dark games, our Blades in the Dark faction turn, all of that happens on our Discord, so please check us out there. We have the new Twitch emotes. Sorry that Jen Brown's appearance has changed, but we will make more emotes for you. And we have merch coming very soon. You will soon be able to get your very own Vampires of Pittsburgh or Stream of Blood t-shirt, Blood and Blades t-shirt. Thank you to our subscribers for help us focus group some of their merch options on our Discord. And I have to go because we went a little longer today. So I'll just say thank you to my partners, Brian Baldinger and Clinton Trucks. Thank you to Megan Arch, our social media manager. Thank you to Matt Moynihan for our YouTube content. Thank you for our new look and all of our graphics to Jill Petracek, our art director. And thank you, the viewers, for coming out every Sunday early in the morning to see people just eat innocent humans and just get gory and bloody all over the place. Until next time, hashtag get pink, and we'll see you then.